Good morning, afternoon, or evening, GBA fans. My name is Gym Leader Gio, your GBA analyst for the preseason coach interviews. I have with me today for our next round of the coach interviews, Jay, coach at the Atlanta Victinis. Welcome, Jay.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for having me, Mr. Gio, and I'm happy to be in the GBA.
All right, buddy. All right, I have a really important first question for you, my friend. Who's your assistant coach this season? We all know GBA is doing assistant coaches now. Who you got on the roster?
All right, so as you guys know, I go by Jay, but I'm also JayVee, and it's only fitting that I got a coach that goes by Gravy, aka Jack, who will be my assistant coach, which I'm very excited to have a homie help me throughout the season of the GBA.
I like that both of you end in V. I think that's crucial for a good coach-assistant coach dynamic. If one of you had V and the other one didn't have V, that's a problem.
It'd be a mess. It'd be a mess.
Exactly. So I want to ask you, I've asked the others too, I want to ask you, GBA being the first league to, I think, really formalize and make official the whole assistant coach thing. Before, we always had front offices, people had people they were training with. That led to some crews that rolled deep, having more people to train with, having sort of an advantage. What do you feel about the way the GBA is doing it with assistant coaches this season? Having solid, fully fleshed out, formalized assistant coaches. What do you think about that?
I think it's definitely an interesting concept because, like you said before, some people do roll deep. I'm probably like one of those people because I have like a whole like Discord of just homies and we all help each other build and stuff. So having like one sole person that you can go to, I feel like it's kind of beneficial but also makes it more challenging because you don't have that many people you can leech off ideas and whatnot. So you just bounce back between you and your friend, and if you don't like their ideas or whatever, then you kind of challenge yourself to like dig deep to get something that that can help beat your opponent that you're playing whatever week. So I think it's pretty cool.
Do you and Gravy have history building together and playing together and all that?
So he's in my essentially I call it Prep City because it's like a couple of people, a good amount of people in there, so it's like a little city, and he's in that server, and so we've prepped together probably multiple times and dished each other ideas and whatnot that go back and forth for whoever's battling what. So if I'm battling or he's battling, we just conversate for a little bit, see what sticks and what doesn't. So we have that chemistry already, so it's very nice to have that with just a familiar face, so it's awesome.
That's great. So moving on, learning a little about you. GBA's been on hiatus for a few years now. A lot of new coaches rounding out the roster this season. So tell me, what brought you to the GBA for its triumphant return?
So growing up, I was one of those kids who watched Wi-Fi battles and whatnot, like Shady Penguin and all those guys who were in the GBA and everything. So like to see like I saw Twitter, their Twitter account followed me, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then I got a DM, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening. It's like it was like surreal because it's like something you watch growing up, and it's like getting called up into the big leagues.
Yeah.
So it was just like that experience, and alone just from that DM and stuff it's been awesome, mind blowing. Yeah.
You heard it here first, guys. GBA snuck into Jay's DMs, really slid in there. For those of you who are just meeting Jay for the first time, or let me flip this question, Jay. For the fans who might be meeting you for the first time, could you tell us a little bit about your draft league experience?
So I actually came in on the tail end of Gen 7, leading into Gen 8. So I did my first Showdown draft league, like when Gen 7 was ended and like Sword and Shield had been announced. I did, however, like watch competitive battles like when I was younger and stuff, but I was like too young to even figure out like what's a capture card, what's all this stuff, so I was never able to set it up. But Gen 8 was when I really thrust into Wi-Fi draft, and I've never looked back, been doing it. So I think that's been, I can't remember when Sword and Shield came out. I think it's like 3 or 4 years in the making, I think. And it's been great. I've loved the community and the people that I've been able to contact with, and so far it's just been kind of like an incline of a great experience. Yeah,
love it. All right, for those who are looking for new coaches to support, maybe new channels, they want to really dive deep in the GBA, why should they choose you? What do you bring that's unique to the table that makes you the one to watch this season?
I feel as though, one, I'm a winner. So who doesn't like to watch on here? But I feel like I've been told I have some good charisma, good energy. I just try to just uplift. No negativity on the channel and stuff, and just try to create an overall positive viewing experience and try to interact with everybody as much as I can. And I consistently upload, which you don't have to worry about. You mean dipping out of nowhere and vanishing for like 2-3 years or something, but as
Jay,
long as Pokemon
is that an attack on me personally? Is this? Are you coming at me? I'm interviewing you, buddy. You're over here.
No shots. I promise. I'm about to be kicked out right now, but
I'm gonna call the counselor on this one. But no, that's true though. That's a great. No, that is a good point, because there are a lot of competitors out there who, for one reason or another, they can't have that regular upload. So having that is actually crucial when you're trying to find the people to support and like what channels really resonate with you. So yeah, absolutely love that. What are you most excited for this season?
Definitely excited to see how the draft will go. Definitely looking forward to that. Definitely excited to see who I play, because I think that's probably when the schedule drops, it's like, oh, who do I got? I do have a couple of homies in here and familiar faces as well, so I'm just excited to see everybody there and see like all the like old fans and new fans of GBA come swirling in. So I'm just overall just super hyped for the season. I think it's going to be great.
It's going to be a really good season. I mean, just looking at the roster they got of coaches, you know, I think it's a competitive season. A lot of people here, really high performers and all that. You said you got some returning faces and all that. Do you have rivals who are in the league with you, or people you would call rivals? Experience.
I have, so like QtheCostaRican is a really good friend. He's been like, we've been buddies since probably like almost the beginning of our YouTube journey, and so like just because he's close, I call him my rival, and so of course I'd want to beat the homie. So I hope I get to play him. I really do. Yeah. But also hope he has a great time in the GBA as well, because I don't want the homie to lose. I just want him to lose to me. That's about it. Yeah.
Completely undefeated except against Jay.
Facts.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's go for that one. Tons of great coaches and assistant coaches this season. We all know. Which of them? Let me word this differently. Would you say you've played almost everyone, or maybe only a partial of the coaches this season? Like, what's your experience been with the roster that you're looking at here?
I'd say I've played a good bit of the roster. I know I've played Vepsis, I've played Q. There are a lot of coaches that I know of that, like Frosted, I don't think we've played, but we were in UBL together. But I don't think I ever got a chance to play her, if I recall correctly. And if I did, I'm sorry, Frosted. It just slipped my mind. So there's a lot of familiar faces in the league that I'm happy to just be able to share this experience with, and also be able to hopefully play them this time if we haven't played before.
Yeah. You know what? If you have played Frosted, and she sees this and goes, "What the hell, man? We played." I just want to say, in Jay's defense, that so I did the interview. Jay, with Ben, GeneralTarheel, and completely forgot that we had played each other leading right up into the interview, and I was like, oh wait, no, I totally played this guy in the APL, I think, and I completely forgot. So it all kind of, over the years that you play, there's so many together. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you play in multiple leagues and all that, I think it's natural to be like, probably fought that person, but I don't know. The community, we all build like that, man. So yeah. So Frosted, don't get mad. Don't get mad. Okay, let's talk battling for a second here. So first question, you've been in the competitive battle scene for years. You've seen multiple generations, the rise and fall of some of these mechanics, right? So Mega Evolutions, Giga Maxing, Z Crystals, now Terrestrialization. Obviously, Pokemon needs to do this to try and keep the meta kind of flowing and evolving and all that. We have our showdown where it's a little bit more, a little bit less controlled, but then bringing those mechanics into a draft format, there's so many different ways to flip that meta again. So I'm just curious, your take on how Terrestrialization, now with the national decks coming in and it's even less tested and all that, what are your thoughts on the health of the meta right now?
I think from a Wi-Fi perspective, I would say it's probably the healthiest it's been from a singles perspective. I can't speak for doubles, right? Because I know Dynamaxing in VGC format is like, I would say it's more forgiving because there's certain counterplays that you can make. In singles, in Gen 8, it was like, if you have a mon that was like max airstream, you get a speed boost. They can quite literally run away with the game, and there's not much you can do about that sometimes. Mega Evolution was great, except, you know, not everybody got it. It was very like exclusive to certain mons. So I think terrestrialization, really, I think they nailed it on the head this gen, if I'm being honest. I think it gives the small guys a chance to be great, and then, of course, the broken mons are way more broken. But I think overall there's a nice little balance in there. Of course, with Smogon and all that, if you guys follow that, it's you know, the big council that dictates rules if you play by their format, which a lot of draft leagues do. So you know, bans and stuff are made, which then helps the metagame settle and stuff. So I think it's in a pretty good place right now, but we'll see going forward with the DLCs and whatnot, how that all plays out.
Yeah, great point. And with so many draft leagues out there, a lot of different rule sets when it comes to how they balance terrestrialization, draft costs, things like that. What are your thoughts about the way the GBA is doing it specifically?
I pretty much enjoy it. I think the whole like having like certain mons be able to tear that are kind of banned from it is smart, because a lot of mons really don't need it, or it makes them way too strong. And then like the point system allows you to like be smart. Like if you want to do the really broken mon, then that's all you got. You can't like, so I think like me personally, I like the lower tiers, because I feel like if you have your really good high tiers and then you have your mid tiers to low tiers, if you give them a tear, I feel like it kind of boosts their status just a little bit. So I really like how the GBA's done it, and allows like for flexibility for coaches depending on what their playstyle is or their favorite mon on their team.
I like that too, yeah. Kind of going the route of, if you make your C and D tier mons fight like they're A tier, punching above their weight class, now all of a sudden you got a team of 6 A tiers instead of mega broken and then a bunch of weak guys doing their best to support them and hoping for a sweep.
Absolutely.
I like that too, yeah, I like that. Okay, last question for you today. Is there anything in the GBA's draft format, maybe the position you're hoping for the snake draft, or when it comes to auction, that you're really hoping that kind of pans out in your favor? What are your strategies? What are your tips for those who might be watching, trying to learn a little bit about draft format themselves? What are your tips? What are your strategies going into auction day, and what can other people learn from your experience?
So I have never been a part of an auction draft, so this is gonna be it's gonna be a learning experience for me. So that part is gonna be interesting because I've never done it. So it's gonna be fun trying to figure out what's going on with that, what to bid on, what not to bid on, how to conserve points, and if yada yada yada. But after like that auction part goes away, snake draft, I would hope my position would be somewhere that I don't get in trouble for, because being at the low end kind of can be a nip in the bud whenever you see everything just leave you. But even being at the top, I mean, it has its merits. I just would really, I guess I take it back. I don't want to be in the middle. That's all. I don't mind being a top wheel or a bottom wheel. I don't want to be in the middle, because that's like really where you miss out from my experience. And as of late, in my draft leagues that I've been, I think I've been in kind of smack dab in the middle every time. And I just don't want to experience that pain here. So it'd be my one wish.
I had it a few seasons in a row too. It really hurts when you know that one pick is more contingent upon another, but being able to snake 2 back to back or pretty close to it. Yeah, I feel you on that one. I like that one a lot. Good advice too. All right, well, that's the time that we have today, guys. As always, when we have these interviews, we leave all of the coaches' information for the main coach, any of their assistants or front office in the description down below this video. Jay, it has been awesome talking with you today, my friend. Anything you want to say to the fans before we sign off?
Make sure to come on over to the channel, subscribe, and make sure to watch any draft league vids, so that way we get ready for the GBA season. And thank you, Gio, for having me. You've been an awesome host. I appreciate it, my man.
Appreciate it, man. All right, everybody, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one of these episodes. Bye.